Hello, and welcome to the War in the Pacific, where it is the 23rd of March, 1942, in the Wirraway versus Encircled play-by-mail campaign. Only major operation planned for today is an assault on Manila in the Philippines. Continuing to offload supplies and equipment and men at Brunei to wrap up our northern Borneo operation. Another key commander's commander's critical information requirement is whether or not our carriers get snooped as we're trying to slip them back through the Philippines and north of Borneo into the Indian Ocean. You can see I'm continuing to reinforce my forces in northern Brunei, at Brunei, because I want to ensure no patrol aircraft are left there. I think I've got enough combat power at Tarakan to take it. And the purpose of that is to make sure my carriers have the maximum chance of slipping through undetected. Okay, he's spotted my engineers headed to Wallis Island in the South Pacific. No fighters up today. Sweep over Raipur. Sweeps over the 5th Division. 5th Division, I think, will be able to move into its blocking position today. We'll watch that too. Lots of Allied fighters above it right now. I'm sure the 5th Division is enjoying marching in the shade caused by so many fighter aircraft. Oh, this is good news. We caught his Warhawks on the ground. Mountains continue to make a bold, if perhaps fruitless, attempt to disrupt my unit's Terracon. Okay, he is going to hit the 5th division. Fortunately, the weather isn't particularly good. I don't know if you caught earlier that sighting report. And Kate snooping a submarine. This might have been a mistake on my part. I think that is an older model Kate operating off an escort carrier, which is conducting ASW around a tanker task force. But it unfortunately may come across to him as a carrier aircraft sighting of a submarine. Perhaps hint that my carriers are there, even though he won't know that it's carrier divisions 1 and 2. Because I think I have my carriers go dark. As you can see, Manila fell. So they ended up surrendering instead of retreating, even though they control this hex side. Um, some debate about this in the rules. The rules indicate that they can retreat to a friendly base that is occupied uh, by both friendly and enemy. They can't do it if there's only enemy. But in this instance, they all chose to surrender. Not it's been may have been very low morale, or it may be that the way the rules are written isn't actually true. Uh, my preference would have been for them to retreat, um, thus overstacking Clark. Um, but perhaps that was never going to happen in the in this case. Manila's fallen, and now we can concentrate this mop up operation at our own pace, controlling casualties and gaining experience for our units, primarily those home island divisions that start the game with 50 to 55 experience, and some of the Kwantong divisions who are also inexperienced. And just rotate them into Clark, fight, rotate them out until eventually Clark falls, and then Con. I don't expect this campaign to be over until late May or June. But again, the key is manage Japanese casualties and gain experience for inexperienced units that can then be used in other theaters effectively later on. Terracan continues to hold out. That looks like the end. And with the reinforcements that were not part of this assault, Brunei should fall next turn too. Okay. Less one-sided this time. Uh, keep in mind that that's more victory points than those two. You can see I'm not, they're just not going to have enough combat power to attack. Not for. Okay, so 5th Division has made it into its blocking position. In ×2 terrain, particularly when the armor arrives, it will be able to hold that. Allies kick out some of my paratroopers at Babon. Would have been neater to hold Bamo for the advancing troops to sort of crush them, crush the Allies there, but it'll still work. Not sure. It's like an Allied unit, Chinese unit, just crossed the river to Lanshao. Maybe it was an attempted suicide in this case. It was destroyed, so. My guess is it just didn't get into Lanshao in time. Okay. We'll speed through the end of the turn. Okay. We saw those Warhawks destroyed on the ground. See, the tanks are already on the move in China. Three divisions and artillery are just are making their way into Luchao. Talked about this before. We'll drive simultaneously on Nanning and north towards Quellen. See how badly Manila was trashed. Not badly at all. So the 14th Division, 14th Division, and the 9th Division will be redeployed from the Philippines to the India Theater, while the inexperienced 25th Division will join the 11th Division uh, and will continue to pull other units out of the home islands in order to get them combat experience in the Philippines. Let's just check on our Satiricam, see how they're doing. So, fine. Should be able to force that. Let's check and make sure. Yeah, these are stood down. Need to get replacements for Kaga's air group. So fly them, if we get north here, we'll fly them to Singapore to pick up replacements. So I'm not sure. Maybe one of the Rovo's on cap, which it should be. Yeah, so I'll probably go dark, even shut the tap off as I'm running through here. Carriers conducting air operations are much more easily detected. Air recon is not showing any patrol aircraft left, but that isn't necessarily accurate. So I'm still intrigued. Yeah, it was Hosho's B5N1 Kates that snooped that submarine. Okay, so it is now water under that proverbial bridge. Probably could have shut them down, just not to give any, in this case, though it's not a correct intelligence sighting of my fleet carriers, it could leave him to believe that the carriers are there, when in fact they are. which is not what was intended. Okay, it looks like just about finished loading here at Port Moresby. It's been a slow, slow go, but he has not intervened. Let's check. So we're going to land engineers at Wallace Island, covered by some cruisers. Anything else exciting going on here? Enemy light cruisers operating deep in the Bay of Bengal. They have adequate covering force, but these guys are exposed. So I'm going to have to back them back out. Would be a little exciting. Talked about he drove by small unit of paratroopers out of Bamo. We haven't been able to route him yet, so he's still making his way towards Mitkiena, my Mitkiena, I guess. Hard to. Last major that in where's a last major, not even major, last objectives within Burma. Okay, let's check on how we're doing here. 5th Division got hit pretty hard. It's badly disrupted. Hasn't suffered much casualties. Does have some artillery and support. So now we can start the withdrawal, and we'll need to get armor because he has a good bit of armor here. Need to get armor into the blocked position and withdraw the Raipur, and then rail back and start to reorganize our offensive. Okay. Well, some things are a little muddled, but we'll keep at it, and our carriers are closing in on getting into theater for our next try or significant try take Thailand. That's the big operation right now in the India theater. In the China theater, key is to start driving on the Chungking Plain while continuing to put pressure and eventually take Quillen. Philippines are pretty straightforward. Concentrate and eventually take Clark, and then the Bataan. In the South Pacific, building up Wallis Island and preparing for an invasion of Savai in the Samoan Islands, with our long-term objective of eventually taking Mugapag. In the Aleutians, just want to build out what we've got. Need to flip Ladu Island. Right now, not going to make any major put in the oceans. And in the Dutch East Indies, we're just doing mop-up operations to establish our southern perimeter of the Dutch East Indies. Might eventually take Darwin. Got some different ideas for what I want to do in terms of poking at northern Australia. I do have some mop-up operations also. Still, a couple Dutch units survive at Maritime. Um, yep, not terribly concerned about anything here because with the fall of the Philippines, of Manila, we have a couple veteran divisions now that can be redeployed and established as a theater reserve. Obviously, the final stage of the Borneo campaign will be an invasion of Balikpapan while we continue to suppress its airfield and Samarinda, and we'll invade Balikpapan, then Samarinda, after Brunei and Tarakan have fallen. Anyway, look forward to, as always, our next chance to talk.